So last video, we went through my consoles that I own, all 6 of them, even though some of them I don't really use lately. But today I'm going to show you all the games that I have been playing and have played throughout my childhood, and moving them throughout the 3 consoles that I am using frequently. Right now, we're going to start with my oldest save file from one of the newest games, surprisingly, which is Pokemon Sun. I originally played through X and Alpha Sapphire, and then Sun and Moon, and then Ultra Moon, and I somehow only have the original file from Pokemon Sun, and that's because it was downloaded directly onto the device, and I never actually lost my device. I played through Moon first, and I loved it so much that I played through Sun on another character named Adrian, and I beat the whole game. I've got all the Z crystals, as you can see, in 43 hours in playtime. Looking through my team, we're gonna see that I've got the box art legendary on my team. So Galeo met on November 29th of 2017. I've got an Incineroar from Italy, a Buzzwole, my starter, Decidueye, which I started the game on October 4th of 2017. I have a Xurkitree and a Sandygast, which I caught in September of 2019, which was 2 years later after I started the file, and probably the last time I ever opened this game. In my box, there's nothing too special except for a good collection of the Ultra Beasts and like the Tapu Guardians, whatever they're called, the Alolan Guardians or something like that. We've got Tapu Lele, Tapu Bulu, I've got Nihilego, Guzzlord, Type Null, who's super cool. Once I rate your play through Ultra Moon, I'm going to try to use him if he's available. I've got Tapu Fini, and I have a Leafeon with only Magical Leaf. I don't understand how I did that. I was taking my guesses, I was looking, and I remember, I'm pretty sure you can get Eevee on the second island. It says I got it on Route 4, and so I'm guessing that I SOS'd an Eevee, and then it called this Leafeon. If anyone can confirm that, I would really appreciate it, because I don't quite understand. I have 4 Kartana, and 2 of them have a Gracium Z on them, and I can't remember, I think you can, like, equip the same Z crystal to different Pokemon, so I don't think I actually have 2 of the key item, because that wouldn't make sense. I don't remember too much about these games, honestly, because I haven't played this game since when I first played it in 2017, but I do remember liking it a lot. The graphics are great, the characters are pretty cool, especially the legendaries. The legendaries are really cool. I loved the fight at the end of the game where Lucamine combines with the Nihilego. I thought that was super cool in these games, and you don't do that in the Ultra games, I'm pretty sure. But I actually haven't finished the Ultra Moon copy that I have. I'm going to show you the save file in just a second. And that's kind of all on this account. I remember designing my character. It was fun playing as a girl and seeing the different character design options, especially in these games on the 3DS where you get so many more options. Alright, moving forward, we've got the cartridge for Ultra Moon. I don't have the case. I don't know where I would have put it, but it's definitely long gone. But this is my childhood copy of Ultra Moon as well. But you'll see the save file is not there anymore. We have a different save file. I don't know when I would have reset it, but as you can tell, there's only 7 hours of playtime. I haven't done too much in this game, except, sorry, I hiccuped. I've got 2 Pokemon, and you'll see one of them is also named Robin. I've got another Robin that you'll see in the next game, and there's kind of a pattern with the Robins in my games, which is that they're shiny. I spent a while shiny hunting for this. It took me a few days, and you would think a few days is really quick, but the way that I originally shiny hunted for this was on an emulator. And I had like 6 instances of the emulator open at like 500 times speed. It was sending my laptop into like panic mode. The thing was trying to just not blow up, and I was doing that for days of soft resetting because the animation to actually pick up your starter just takes way too long. But I really do like shiny Rowlet, Dartrix, and Decidueye, and I have this Ditto from Japan as well. I was trying to get a shiny Phoebus. I was gonna try to only use shinies. It was kind of a dumb idea because I wasn't really enjoying it too much, which is why I haven't picked up the game yet ever since getting the shiny Rowlet. And it didn't even feel that rewarding because I had to use the emulator for the shiny Rowlet. But maybe I'll ditch the Ditto, stop trying to do the Masuda method, and just play through the game normally now that I have a cool shiny starter. That I have a fun story with it now, so good enough. But yeah, there's nothing else on the save file. I've beaten a couple of the trials, I think is what they're called, but nothing too crazy. But the last 3DS save file that I have is Alpha Sapphire. I have my original case to Pokemon X with the inserts, surprisingly, but I don't have the game. So that's a bummer because I remember really liking that game. I think that was the first game I ever beat the Elite Four on, was Pokemon X. I wasn't very good at actually beating the games. I would just kind of mess around and adventure through them. And I looked through my activity logs and I had a ton of hours played on this throughout my childhood. But this save file is unfortunately also a restarted file from this past year. But you will see that it starts with a Robin, which is always a good sign because this Robin is also shiny. I've got a shiny Gardevoir who goes Mega in this game, and it's definitely my favorite Pokemon, my favorite shiny Pokemon, my favorite everything probably, except for Empoleon, which we'll get to in a second. But besides that, we've got a Swampert, Hariyama, Bagon, Magnemite, and Swellow. Some of these are pretty underleveled, which is why you'll notice that this save file hasn't actually beaten the Elite Four yet. So I have to do that. And once I beat the Elite Four, I'm going to do the Delta episode, which is a super fun, not DLC, but just kind of post-game event. I remember playing through it for the first time. I didn't even know that Pokemon games had post-game. So playing that for the first time was just mind-blowing. And that was when YouTube was starting to become a big deal. And so I was watching videos on the Delta episode and the legendaries you can get in this game by soaring around. If I can remember, how do you soar? It's one of these buttons. Here it is. What the? There's something. Oh, yeah, I scared it. Oh. Okay, so I've been running around, and all that I have found is a Sunkern and a bunch of Audino. I don't know what you're supposed to do on Mirage Forest, but I'm clearly lost. So I thought I would just show you guys the Mega Gardevoir because it's so cool. That is just the coolest thing in the world. Legends EA. I mean, they brought back the Megas in Legends EA, but the animations in this game are so much cooler, I'll be honest. I really liked Legends EA. It was fun. It was a little repetitive in some spots, but all in all, it was fun, and definitely the Megas were the best part, but it still doesn't compare to the Megas in this game. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, so I'm going to move on to the next game before I fight another Audino. So as you can tell, this is my childhood copy of Pokemon Platinum. This case has been in my bedroom my whole life. There's no inserts, but this cartridge as well, I wrote the first two letters of my name onto the actual cartridge in pencil. But this game is amazing. I just replayed through it recently because I didn't actually have my old save file somehow. But as you can tell, I'm in the house after beating the Elite Four, and I'd like to just show you my team that I built. We've got Shark Boy, who is unbelievably powerful. This guy, he kind of destroyed the entire Elite Four. I think he's a little over leveled. I spent a while leveling in this game because I thought Cynthia was going to be super hard. And then I realized that I was way too overpowered and I just destroyed her. I got to the Spirit Tomb and I put down 3 swords dances and then just one-shot her entire team, including her Garchomp. So that was a little awkward. I feel a bit bad. I'm going to have to go back and play the game with a less powerful final team. But so besides Shark Boy, we got Waddles, which is the name of my childhood penguin. And this is, of course, a Luxray, who's one of the coolest Pokemon. I pretty much just picked, like, my favorite looking Pokemon. But the problem is they all happen to be some of the most popular choices. I know that, like, the Sinnoh team is the most, like, stereotypical for being the same 6 Pokemon. But luckily, I did not pick the same starter. You'll see the starter I picked. But next up, I've got Cedar the Houndoom, who I think he was useful against, like, a member of the Elite Four. I can't really remember who. But next up we have Chirpy, which was the name of my brother's bird when we were kids. And then Blue, the name of my cat, who I've had since I was a little kid, since I was like 4 or 5. She's super old now. But I picked Empoleon, who is my favorite Pokemon. I've always loved penguins, and so Empoleon has just always been my favorite. And this game in general was really good. Oh wait, and I have the Giratina, which I didn't really use too much in the Elite Four. I think it was good against one member with its ghost type moves, but I can't remember how great it was. I mean, it's level 47. I didn't put too much time into leveling it, especially compared to the level 68 Empoleon and 63 Garchomp. I think you can tell who carried. But yeah, this is my team. I don't think there's too many cool things in the box, so I'm not even going to try to find it. But replaying through this with my original cartridge, with this original casing, I mean, like, look at the little glitter on the cover. Like, this thing's a little scratched up and beat up, but this thing's just, there's a time machine in this box, and it was so enjoyable to play through. And I'd like to move on to the next childhood copy that I kept, which has its original save from when the game came out. So let me show you that now. Now, as you can see from the case that I pulled out, the next game is Pokemon Black. Now, this case is a replacement case. I don't have it from when I was little, but I do have my original cartridge, which I just popped in here. We're going to load it up. And as the save file from not the day that the game came out, I've got a cool little story that I'll explain to you once we get into it. Such a great little intro. And even this music, it's just so great. The title screen with Reshiram, it's just so perfect. And now, as you'll see, I've got 41 hours, 8 badges, and I'm in New Vema Town. I just beat the game. Back in the house as well, as tradition once you beat the game. Now let's check out the team that I beat the game with. Of course, you've got Reshiram, which they give to you. I think you have to use it, or maybe you don't have to use it for the Elite Four, but this is what I used. I've got Reshiram from Ends Castle, the day I beat the game, which was just recently. So this is where it's gonna get crazy. So I beat the game just a few weeks ago, October 16th. And next up, I've got a Chandelier, Crocodile, Galvantula, Archeops, and last but not least, are you ready for the date on my starter? March 6th, 2011, the day this game came out. And now, but the ID number, as you'll see, is different. And so what I figured out, since in my box, let me find a box. Okay, now that I'm finally in my box after all of that, I just wanted to show that this deerling, also from around when the game came out, Pi Day, 8 days after the game came out, this OT is my brother's original ID. So from what I'm understanding, because my brother's deerling is on the account from 8 days after the game came out, and my Samurai is from the day the game came out, is that we both bought the game, and I went home and I started the game, and I played through it for a month or two, and then for some reason I traded the starter to my brother, and then restarted my game, and he traded back the starter with the deerling, and I must have traded him my actual starter, because throughout the entire game I was facing Snivy and Samurott for the 2 rival battles. So my account originally had Tepig. And then, as you can see, this adventure started on June 23rd of 2011, which is still within 4 months of when the game came out, which is pretty crazy that this save file is still that old and that my starter is from the day that the game came out. So I'm always going to treasure that starter, and I'm super happy that I have that. It's definitely the most sentimental Pokemon that I'll ever have. But it's just so weird that, 14 years ago, for some reason I bought the game, traded my starter, and then reset the game. I don't really know why I did that, but when I opened this game recently, I was like 3 gyms in. I did not get very far, but I know when I was a kid that I beat Pokemon Black 2, because 1, I got a shiny Ferroseed, which I don't have anymore. I'm gonna need to shiny hunt for it and get it back one day. But 2, looking through my activity log, I had so many hours put into the 3DS playing Pokemon Black 2, and I just can't believe that I don't have the cartridge anymore. I wish I did, so that I could find the old save file, probably from the day the game came out, and to get that shiny back, which would be really cool. But I remember getting Kyurem. I remember playing through the whole game. Like, it was the first game that I know I beat the game. I think earlier I said that it was Pokemon Moon, but it was Black 2. It wasn't even the first Pokemon Black, it was Black 2. But the last thing that I'm going to say about this game is that the story is amazing. It was absolutely unbelievable playing through this game. It was so fun, and I recommend it to anybody. This is like the game to start with. I know people don't like that there's only Gen 5 Pokemon, but honestly, there's some of the coolest Pokemon in there. At first, I didn't even really like it as a kid. I didn't like the Pokemon that they introduced, but playing back through it now, they're all just so like sentimental and nostalgic that I love Litwick. I love Archeops now. Like Archeops, when you get him, you get the fossil, and it says that this Pokemon doesn't know how to fly. But once you evolve it into whatever its name is, you guys know who I'm talking about. I'll put a picture. But you evolve it, and then it can learn fly, and you can fly with it, as I just did to fly to the other city. And like the little things like that just make it so much more beautiful to hear that this Pokemon could never fly, and then you get to train it to evolve and learn how to fly. It's just so poetic in a way. It makes me really happy to experience a game that does that. Now that is some awesome music and an awesome title screen, even cooler than the Reshiram. Now, I know I said that I lost my copy of Pokemon Black 2, but recently I found a crazy good deal on eBay for complete in box Pokemon Black 2 with the cartridge. It's got it all. It came with Pokemon Black 2, Pokemon Y, and Pokemon Sun. I resold the 2 3DS games and made a good chunk of it back, so I ended up paying a very good price for this, whereas normally this goes for like $180 to $200. I got it for way below that after selling the other games. And so right when I beat Pokemon Black a few days ago, or a few weeks ago now, I picked up this. And as you can see, I'm only 3 badges in. I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm really enjoying it. Seeing these returning characters like Bianca, who is now working with Professor Juniper, and Cherim, I think is his name, who becomes the first gym leader. Now, you're gonna be a little disappointed by my team, which is just Pignite. I've been trying to find like any Pokemon that I want to catch, and I don't really want any of the non-Gen 5 Pokemon on my team, honestly. So I've just been kind of letting this little guy carry me throughout the game. I'm 3 gyms in, and he's kind of a beast. He's probably getting a little over-leveled at this point. I'm going to go through and catch some other stuff. But since I beat it earlier with Samurott, I wanted to get Tepig. Honestly, I would have taken Snivy as well. I love all 3 of them. I used to not like any of them. I thought they were all kind of basic. But I'm really enjoying this game so far. I really liked the second gym, the poison type gym with Roxy, I think her name was. She's running this band and she's just such a badass, and she's playing guitar, and we've got the drummer as well. And I just love seeing those musicians with such a unique style for the gym. And then she goes on arguing with her dad kind of in a similar light with Bianca in the first game, which is really cool to see that parallel 2 years later with the other characters growing up, and then we see other people kind of following a similar path as we get to help them out throughout their journey now. And so these games, from what I've experienced so far, I think they're the best written, but I haven't actually beaten SoulSilver yet. That's the next game that we're going to move on to, but I don't know much about the story to be able to judge. Now, for the last DS game that we're going to go through, and actually, I think this is the last game. I think we've gone through them all. We're going to take a look at my Pokemon SoulSilver copy. This is my original copy from my childhood as well. I didn't lose Platinum, I didn't lose Black, and I didn't lose SoulSilver. I only lost Black 2, Alpha Sapphire, Moon, and X. And so I've replaced Black 2 and Alpha Sapphire. I still don't have X. And I don't care to replace Moon because I have the digital copy of Pokemon Sun still with that save file. So I would just like to get Pokemon X again so that I can replay that, because that game seems super fun, especially after playing through ZA. I really want to re-experience Kalos like I did as a kid, because I remember that was the first game that I beat I don't know. I feel like there were a lot of games that I thought were the first game I beat the Elite Four, because I remember with these games like Platinum, SoulSilver, and Black, I didn't beat the Elite Four. I didn't really know where to go throughout some of the story. I'd kind of get stuck. But I remember Pokemon X, I did beat the Elite Four, and I know I did with Sun. I didn't beat Ultra Moon, and I definitely did with Black too, or at least I think I did, but who knows. But this copy of SoulSilver, it's a little different. As you'll see, this isn't my original save anymore either, but my team is just Crocodile, Shiny Gatorade. I got this shiny on my birthday this year, and so I've decided to do shiny only on this game on original hardware. No emulators, nothing. I've been doing this completely by the book with the rubber band. I haven't taken this rubber band off in like a month. It's probably gonna break the device soon. But right now I'm going for shiny Dratini. And so why don't we just try to see if I can get a shiny Dratini. Right now I have 9 hours in game, and probably 8 of them were getting the damn points to buy all these Dratinis. Getting 10,000 coins from Voltorb Flip took so long. It was really tedious. And I did not get a shiny Dratini. Let's do one more reset. But as you can see with the rubber band on the triggers, all you have to do is press these 2 buttons, which is really easy to do on the DS Lite because it's so light and tiny, and the buttons are really squishy. They're easy to mash. But anyways, yeah, this will be the end of the video, seeing if we can get a shiny. But yeah, those are all my games. I really enjoy all of them, and I hope you guys found something enjoyable as well. But with that, I'll say goodbye.